Hey guys, as you can tell by all these big old HornBlasters boxes, it's going to be a good day. Well, for me anyway. Now, I just recently paid off one of my credit cards, and you can't just have those things sitting around with no balance on it. I mean, what fun would it be not having a credit card payment, right? So, I decided to go ahead and get something that I've been wanting for a long time for my Tahoe. And I went ahead and picked out a really cool horn from HornBlasters. And I went with the Conductors Special 544 Nightmare Edition. It's a really awesome kit. Comes with the HornBlasters shocker horns, which are just ridiculously loud. Sounds just like a train. I mean, you're going to hear it on the video and you're going to say, yeah, that's pretty cool. You hear it in real life and you feel it, and you know that's awesome. But anyway, this kit also comes with a big 5-gallon tank and a constant duty cycle air compressor. Really cool setup. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing checked out. Now, if you're not familiar with HornBlasters train horns, like I said, they're just insanely loud, and I can't really even describe to you how loud they are. And you're going to watch a video, maybe you've seen YouTube videos, and it doesn't do it any justice. I mean, it sounds cool, but you just have no idea how loud these things are until you actually hear them. I mean, if you've ever stood next to the train tracks when a train goes rushing by, that's pretty much what it sounds like. It's awesome. Now, I actually have a kit almost just like this on my little Honda Civic. I mean, you might be seeing all these big old boxes and thinking, man, you're going to fill up the bed of a pickup truck with all these horns, It's not a big deal. I mean, the horns, there's 4 separate horns. I'll show you here in a minute. And you can mount them in different locations. They don't have to be together in one big group. You can move them around. It's still going to sound awesome. And like I got the bigger tank, you can get a smaller tank. It'll fit a lot better in a smaller car. But I did put a kit almost just like this in my Honda Civic, just because. I mean, little tiny car, giant horn, that's kind of cool. So, and I went with the HornBlasters Shocker 540 kit, which is almost the exact same kit as what I have right here, only that kit comes with a fast fill compressor, and this one comes with a constant duty cycle compressor. But this Nightmare Edition is also cool, comes all blacked out in case you guys don't like chrome on your vehicles. You got an all blacked out truck. This is an all blacked out kit. It's really cool. That Nightmare Edition, I mean, that just sounds cool. So, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and get these things opened up here in a minute. I haven't even opened these boxes yet, and I've just been grinning all day just thinking about these things. So, I mean, that's how cool they are. I've had that kit on my Honda Civic for over 2 years now. Every time I push the horn button, big old grin on my face, I just can't help it. It's just that cool. Now, of course, me being the review guy on YouTube, I mostly do light bars, things like that, but I couldn't get something this cool and not make a video to show you guys. So I went ahead and emailed up to people in HornBlasters, told them I wanted to buy one of these kits, told them I wanted to make a review video on it, and, I thought maybe me being a big old celebrity, they'd just go ahead and send them to me for free. Nah, not so much. But, check this out. Look at that, my very own HornBlasters shirt. For free. Also, a couple vinyl decals that you don't usually get with the kit. That's pretty cool. And I also got something for you guys. You guys watch my video and you see how awesome these horns are and you go, man, I gotta have one of those. You go ahead and message me on YouTube and I will give you an email address and the name of the person to get a hold of, and tell them you want to order one of these kits and tell them you saw my video on YouTube, and they're going to go ahead and hook you up with your very own HornBlasters shirt. A couple HornBlasters decals. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. They didn't have to do that, and they did. So, hey, that's pretty cool. So, we'll go ahead and get these things checked out, and once you see how much you love them and you want to get one, go ahead and leave a comment and get a hold of me on YouTube, and I'll go ahead and give you that email address and the name of the person to get a hold of. Go ahead and get you one of these babies ordered up and get your own shirt and your own decals and, little goodies, just because. Now, like I said, I'm going to be putting this whole setup on my Tahoe, and I use my Tahoe, to go all kinds of different muddy events, things like that. I pull my Razor behind me or a 4-wheeler behind me, sometimes even a mud truck. We go different muddy events and things like that. And, you go to a place like that, a lot of times you're going to wish you had an air compressor with you, air up tires, or even just taking the Tahoe for a drive. You get a low tire, you got onboard air system now. I mean, that's pretty cool. And, your 4-wheelers, if you got a slow leak in your 4-wheeler tire, or maybe you're out on the trails, you hit a thorn or something, you get back to camp, got some onboard air now. You don't have to use one of those junky little 12-volt battery-powered pumps that takes 20 minutes to fill up a tire this big. I mean, this is a pretty cool setup. It's not just an awesome horn, it's also an awesome onboard air setup. So, I went ahead and ordered a couple things that weren't part of the kit. And I will say that the customer service at HornBlasters, those guys are awesome. I already ordered the kit, the 544 Conductor Special Nightmare Edition kit, and I got to thinking about it. I got the confirmation for the email saying they were going to ship it to me. And I started thinking, man, this is going to be such a great onboard air system. I'm going to be using it for that as well as the horns. So I think I want to upgrade it to a dual compressor setup. And I mean, that way you got dual constant duty air compressors on there. So not only can they run constant duty, but also two of them, it's going to fill a lot faster. And, you know, be able to keep up with the air tools, things like that. You know, if you want to go ahead and, you know, run a little impact or a little air ratchet, something like that, when you're out in the trails or, you know, at the camp, something like that. So I went ahead and called them up and said, well, I emailed them up. I said, you know, I want to go ahead and add another compressor. People were very, very helpful. They said, well, you know, we can do that, no problem. And they even told me I was going to need a different relay for it. They swapped that out for me. And I also added a air relocation kit. So I'll have a little air chuck in the back of my truck. You know, little kit that hooks up to your air tank, hooks up to the back of your truck, and you can just go ahead and plug the air line right in there. Bam, you're ready to go. So, and that's pretty cool. Then I got this kit coming. A few days later, I started thinking again. I go, you know, if I'm going to have this whole setup, I also need, they sell a little rolled up 30-foot hose. Comes in a package about this big, and it extends out to 30 feet. It's really cool. Yeah, it's pretty cheap, so I got to have that. But what I really want to get, they sell a remote relocation kit. So on this tank, you're going to have a little drain on the bottom. You got to open that up, drain the water out every once in a while. I'm going to be mounting this inside my Tahoe, and I don't really want to be opening up that tank and letting the water drain out inside the Tahoe. And I'm actually planning on putting this in a little enclosure in the back of my Tahoe. So, you know, you're not going to want to take that apart every time you want to drain the tank. So they actually make a kit, comes with a 1/2-inch air valve, just like the ones the horns use. And you go ahead and plumb that into the bottom of your tank, hook up a button on the front of your dash, and whenever you want to drain the tank, you hit that button, drains your tank for you, right there from the driver's seat. It's really cool. So that's what this box is up here. All right, the moment I've been impatiently waiting for. Let's open these things up and see what's inside. And this is the relay they went ahead and upgraded for me. Their relay that comes with the kit just controls one compressor. This relay is all pre-wired, ready to go. Pressure switch on and off. Control 2 compressors. Really cool. Yep. Alright, that's it. There's the kit. Normally I don't do unboxings, but I was so excited to check this stuff out. Figured you guys wanted to see it. So I'll go ahead and give you a closer look at all the contents of the kit here. Alright, let's take a closer look at all this stuff. We'll start out with the horns. This is HornBlasters shocker horns. Now, if you ever seen the face on somebody when they hear this much horn coming out of my tiny little Honda Civic, you'll know why they call it the shocker horns. But anyway, you got a 4-trumpet horn set up here. And like I mentioned before, you know, a lot of the horns that people sell, they're all stacked into one big unit, and you need a pretty big area to mount them. Well, these, you can mount them anywhere you want, you know, within a certain distance from the solenoid valve. So, you know, you can put them in a few different locations, have one going this way, one going that way, and it's still going to sound just incredible. So, you know, it's really versatile on how you can mount these things, so that's really cool. You got your air valve for the horns. You got the all the fittings you need for the horns. Now here's this remote drain kit I told you. Like I said, that fitting looks familiar, that valve rather. Same one they use for the horns. And they give you the fittings you need, and give you a big old roll of 1/2-inch air line so you can route that somewhere else, you know, route it wherever you want it. Also, we got the air line just like it, 1/2-inch air line, that's for the horns. And it comes with some wire. Got those dual compressors. Like I said, the 540 Nightmare Edition, or 544 rather, Nightmare Edition would come with one of these. I upgraded to 2 just so I'd have a more awesome onboard air system, but even with just one of these, you'd still have a pretty sweet onboard air system. But you know, like I said, I'm going to be going ahead and making use out of that credit card. So if you're going to use it, might as well use it up, right? So we went and upgraded to 2. Got your big old 5-gallon tank. Got all the ports on it you need for, you know, you got your drain port on the bottom for your valve. we got our air source relocation kit. I'll pop that open and show you what's inside this thing. Basically just a bag of fittings. Gives you the fittings for the airline, and a quick disconnect for your air hose, and some airline. So we're going to go ahead and thread that into one of these ports, run it to the back of the truck, and then I'll have a quick connect back there and hook the airline into whenever I need air. Speaking of airlines, that's what that thing looks like, all coiled up in there. That's 30 foot of hose in this tiny little bag. That'll just plug right into that fitting. Good to go. Yeah, what else we got here? We got the valve I was telling you about. This is pre-wired to run both compressors. That'll thread into the tank. Any one of these holes, wire them into the compressor. Bam, turns it on and off at the right pressure. And down here we got the intake air filters for your compressors. This is going to go right up here in the front of your compressor. You're going to thread a fitting in here, one of these fittings, and it comes with some air line. You run that air line to a nice dry area. Now, these compressors can be mounted under your vehicle. I'm going to mount them inside my Tahoe just because that's the way I want to do it. Keep everything real nice and clean, make a nice little enclosure for it. But you can mount this under your truck. You can mount this tank under your truck if you want, no problem. But what you want to do is use this little air filter, run it up through the cab of your truck inside someplace dry. That way your air compressor is sucking in nice clean dry air instead of wet air. Now normally when I'm making a video I have to edit out all these trains going by because they kind of ruin my videos, but I guess it kind of fits in today. I mean, we're doing a train horn video, so hey, got background noise. And like I say, we got your switches, a little inline fuse, Teflon tape for all your fittings. Got your wire, big heavy duty, I believe it's 10 gauge wire for the compressors. And you got your little wire for the switches and the solenoid. All the little fittings that are going to go into our air tank. And check this out, this is cool. You got your HornBlasters logo air pressure gauge that you can put in one of those ports too. Keep an eye on your air pressure. How cool is that, right? So that's it, that's pretty much the kit. Now we just got to go ahead and find a place to mount these horns. Now I want to go ahead and mount mine behind the grill on my Tahoe. Now a lot of people choose to mount these on the back of their truck pointing backwards. I guess just because that's the easiest thing to do, and you know, like I said, these things are so loud it doesn't matter where you put them, they're going to be crazy loud. But you know, I kind of want mine on the front because I don't know, I just feel like that's where a horn should be, you know. But we're going to go ahead and start ripping apart the front of my Tahoe, find a place to mount these babies, and then we got to go ahead and make a little enclosure to put the air tanks, compressors, and everything in, and we'll get it all plumbed and wired up. I'll show you how we do it. Alright, so there it is, folks. The HornBlasters Conductors Special 544 Nightmare Edition train horn kit, and a few extras. You know, the remote drain kit, you know, the add-on relocation kit, that kind of fun stuff, the extra compressor. But there it is. Now this video is going to go ahead and run kind of long, so I'm going to go ahead and break it up into parts. But we'll go ahead and call this the review portion of the show, where I show you guys everything. And I'm going to go ahead and make a part 2, where I show you how to install it on my Tahoe. And so go ahead and check that video out as well. I'll show you how I installed everything and show you how it all works. So thanks for watching, and check out part 2.